Once again, part 2, Ghost Energy 350K at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, continuing the 10th anniversary tour and the finale of the West Coast Tour. Drivers are going to be trying their luck once again to score some much needed points. It's a sponsor contract race, which means a lot of things are going to be on the line for the drivers here tonight. And we're going to keep the party rolling as next week we head into Nashville. They got 1.5 miles around this D-shaped oval out in the southern desert. Be 145 laps. That'll be a lot of fun. It's been cooling off down to 80 degrees tonight as the wind is also dying down. Should be a fun race underneath the lights. It's myself, Adam, and Brett Pritchard in the booth. And it's time for us to get this party going.
Absolutely. The majority of the field is excited to be here at this 1.5 mile racetrack, D-shaped oval. We had a little bit of technical issues before we got through here, but there are certain cars who are very excited. We're going to see Nick Fountain, the 39 Toyota Camry. They are extremely excited in the Supreme Motorsports camp for this race. They feel like they have an excellent package together with the 39 and 41. Another team that feels a little bit of momentum heading into here is Ariel Motorsports. We'll see Brett Pritchard in the 44 Heatwave Visuals Ford Mustang that they have qualified 4th place for tonight. And that camp has, they have a little bit of a quiet confidence. We saw them in practice throughout the week. They're a little bit of strutting their stuff, not really going full throttle, but after qualifying, it's pretty clear to the field that they've got something going for them.
And what is your thoughts, Brett?
I think we're going to see some cars that have been struggling the last couple of weeks find some speed, and cars that maybe have had some speed maybe struggle with how fast everybody else has got.
I agree.
There's a common
switch up.
There's a common theme and a common feeling among this garage that this is the race. This is going to be the weekend. There are many drivers, many teams that have been strutting around throughout practice of this week feeling like they have a shot. And we get to the actual race weekend. We run through practice, we run through qualifying, and there's still this buzz. The Neon Garage is buzzing this weekend with confidence and with the feeling that this could be anyone's race.
Anyone except for the 2 cars that are going home, which is Makoto Kino and Joshua Lockhart.
Very unfortunate for those 2 cars. The Joshua Lockhart camp, of course, is for Benato Motorsport, who is working in alliance with the Team International Team Motorsports teams, and that 75 car we saw at Bristol got the outside pole, and they were really trying to put a race together. Such a good effort by Joshua Lockhart. It's a very big shame that he's going home tonight. And of course, Makoto Kino for Tier 1, that team is just, they really want to get back to racing, and it's going to be a couple weeks before we see him, but hopefully next week in Nashville they'll come back strong. As we go through the lineup, our top 10 starters, we have Ryan DeLusso on pole. Just a couple races left for the Revolutions for Motorsports camp before he moves over to his Chronic Understeer Motorsports team. That RPM has been so respectful to get that going for him. He starts to the inside of Justin Osborne. This is such a good turnaround for Justin Osborne. Everybody is excited to see him back up front. Such an amazing qualifier. This is so much more on form for him. As we mentioned, Nick Fountain, Brett Pritchard are 2 main drivers to watch. Sammy Cobb in 5th is going to be another threat tonight. We don't want to say threat because Brett is our threat, but 77 is going to be pretty quick. We have Dylan Touchton in 6th, Chris Davis in 7th, Daniel Quinones for Reckless Racing in 8th, Brad Smith starts 9th for TXS Racing, Eugene Hawk rounds up the top 10 for Revolutions per Motorsport.
Then it's going to be Aaron Douglas in the number 97 car for Western Auto Racing. And he'll be in the orange car underneath the lights tonight. You see that car's with a revolving door for paint schemes throughout the season. He starts next to the Timmy Weathers machine for Walsh Enterprises.
Walsh is closing the folders on a Toyota deal. They're very excited for that. We have now a Pat Wary in the 26 Fastenal Ford Mustang for Reckless Racing, starting the inside of Jeff Cannon, the 81 Ghost Energy Toyota.
Starting behind our defending champion, that's Brandon Crasta in car number 63 for Procrastination. Decent start for him. Heard they brought new machines for both drivers tonight. They were confident that Las Vegas is going to be a good place for them. And then that shiny gold Las Vegas Knights car that is your sponsor of the race's car. That's Connor Muir in the Ghost Energy orange green Toyota Camry on the outside lane. He starts P16.
And in P17, we have Dylan Young, the 19 Nesquik Toyota Camry. He's going to start to the inside of Mariah Douglas, the 83 Turtle Wax Ford Mustang. That is for the Rebel Racing Camp.
And then row 10 in the inside, we have the orange car, number 82, Kenny Pember, teammate to Mariah Douglas. Starts to the inside of car number 41, Andrew Weisbecker, who has been out of the gates very fast in that Supreme Motorsports car.
Another driver who has been rather fast, that is David Walsh in the 56, that is for Walsh Enterprises, owner-operator of that race team. Again, they're really hoping to close the Toyota deal out here at the end of the race. He starts to the inside of the 4 car, that is Austin Yoakum, one of our 2 Canadians in the field.
And it's Jay Langelier out in row number 12. He starts to that number 9 car for Reckless Racing. And he starts to the inside of Deacon Jones, a very fast contender, that number 28 machine.
Behind them, we have the 17 of Zachary McAdoo, who has been on such a strong run as of late. Had a big run last week, won the race, and now he starts to the inside of the 78 of Rock McPherson.
Then there's rookie driver, rookie team, Fox Racing's Marissa Miranda, number 32, starts P27 to the inside of John Cittadino out of Team Motorsports.
And we have Quinn Izzo, the TXS Racing Toyota Camry, another driver who's hoping to put a feature sponsor on this car. Starts to the inside of the 87, that is Arthur Xavier in the Camping World Chevrolet SS.
Then it's Joseph Ernesto, owner-driver of Team Motorsports. He starts P31 next to Lizzie Wesley and the second Procrastination machine.
36 car feels like they're going to go to the front rather quickly. Elias Nassar starts in 33rd in the Noon Racing Chevrolet, or it's a Ford, I apologize, it's Ford Mustang, to the inside of Tim Salmon, the 51 TXS Toyota.
That's Greg Graziano, the orange Douglas Motorsports, number 27. Starts to the inside out of sister team, despite the different manufacturers. That's Jacob McMillan starting 36 tonight.
Competing brothers for control of that race team has elected them to go to Chevrolet. The 37th spot belongs to Andy Bewley for Rebel Racing, to the inside of Rob Kreider. This one is definitely a Chevrolet. Which one is this? It's Stories and Cocktails Podcast Chevrolet.
Podcast. Listen to it on Spotify. And then running behind him is Travis Dawson, Noon Racing, number 8 car, starts to the inside of Tom Jones in the 46.
Then we have Caitlin Meir in the Walmart Toyota that's going to start the inside of Brad Hughes in the Penske Rentals Ford Mustang.
And rounding out the field is the 5 car. And then those 2 cars going home, of course, is Nikoto Kino and Joshua Lockhart. We head all the way back up to the front of the pack. Lights on the pace car are out, which means we're going to be going green flag this time around. On pole, first time this season, Ryan DeLusso. And last year's regular season champion, Justin Osborne. This should be one hell of a start for us to begin this Las Vegas race.
We will see who gambles and plays win, and gambles who loses. Birds.
We wait for the pace car to dive down, and then it's going to be all in control for that number 2 machine, and they are holding off the green. We had heard them all downshift. Alrighty. We'll try that again. They're going to wave this off for 2 more laps, so it'll be 1 to go next time by. So sponsor contract rates. Now, every quarter of the season is when the sponsor contracts end. So this will be a time for renewals, new offers, or even promotions. So this will be a big race for the little teams and important for the big teams to maintain their funding. This could change the pecking order throughout the rest of the season. So many teams brought out new cars just for this race. That is how important it is. Let's take our early picks. I'm going to go for a very specific Ford who's been very sneaky and quiet all season long. I'm going to take my pick with car number 77. I'm going with Sammy Cobb. I think he's going to have a good run tonight. Purely on vibes only.
He's came close the last couple races. He's been a pick almost every race, but I'm gonna go with the number 69 of Dylan Touchton.
Watch out for the 06. We're all picking Fords. Watch out for the 06 of Chris Davis.
And they're all right next to each other, too. We picked 5th, 6th, and 7th place. All Fords.
3 different teams, all Fords, all starting in the top 10.
Not bad picks, though. This is a good race. I think Chris Davis has had a rocky start to the season. Very up and down, roller coaster start to the season. But when he has his good races, he is quick.
And they lost their partnership going into the season kind of last minute. So that was a real blow to the Davis Motorsports.
That's why you see the number font between these two cars, the Reckless Racing car on the outside. That is not a teammate, but that was an Alliance member. Ooh, it's time. This feels like the calm before the storm.
Some of these drivers were up in the stands watching mini stock. Some of the other ones were gambling the last $10 in their pocket. But it's all time to race now.
A race with so much on the line as we head into the nighttime desert skies. Now this time, pace car should be ducking in. There we go. It's up to the flagman and Ryan DeLusso to get us underway. We are green flag racing at Las Vegas. Lap 1 complete, and Justin Osborne is under fire from Nick Fountain to the inside. Brett Pritchard behind. To the inside goes to 77 as well. Three wide racing there towards the back. That's McMillan, Ernesto, and Salmon. They all stay clean.
Oh, Izzo and Citadino almost had some contact.
Fastest lap last time by was Dylan Young, who's battling with his team owner to the inside. That's that yellow number 19 Nesquik Toyota, right behind Chris Davis.
It's like Chris just got stuck on the third line and dropped a few positions there.
Aaron splitting between the two Fords of Reckless Racing now. He opts to stay behind Noed Patwary and takes two passes in one turn for car number 97. Ryan DeLusso still at the point of this thing. We got three wide, couple lanes back. Looks like everybody sorts it out before corner entry. Oh, Connor getting dicey with Brandon Crasta. Moved him up a lane.
DeLusso just set the fastest lap of the race while being up front.
And here comes the 39 of Nick Fountain. Right to the back bumper of Ryan DeLuso's number 2. The University of Joey Logano's blocking. But the unsponsored 39, Nick Fountain goes to the outside and goes to make the first lead change of the race. And it's down the Nellis Straight of Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
The middle to high lanes coming in very quick.
Very quickly. Now, don't forget, last night we had the Pro Series race out here, and it was won by Eugene Hawk by 3/1000ths of a second over Brad Hughes. I would definitely bet to see we'll see it in a race just as entertaining, as we've already had a pass to the lead on lap 6. Brett Pritchard moving up. Or sorry, I was returning the position back. He's battling with Justin Osborne on the inside. It's Toyotas on the outside, Fords on the inside. Looks like Aaron was going to try 3 wide there, but ultimately ended up backing out. That's going to cost him some position. Sammy Cobb says, thank you very much.
I was going to say, that cost Osborne a lot of positions. Even though he got a huge run, it's going to put him way up for turn 3 and 4.
Something these teams also need to really take into an account here, and that's going to be how much the cars are going to change throughout this sunset as we head into the night portion of the main race itself. The cars may handle differently. It will get colder. It will get faster. And we're starting to see Osborne drop. He now is about to fall outside the top 10 at this rate. Battle for the lead might be re-kicking up. Ryan's been really fast the last couple laps. He has recaught the 39 car. Looks to the inside on the front straightaway. If he can dive up to the inside, we saw in the Pro Series race, cars were getting tight on the inside. Not a problem for DeLuso as he's going to slide in front of the 39 and retakes the lead. These two have about a 3.5 second lead over the main pack, currently led by Aaron and his Rockstar Recovery 97 with Noah and Patway right behind. There's only 2 Chevys right now in this top 10.
First and 10th.
And actually, Nick Fountain re-goes for the lead on the inside. These two are going at it.
It's going to allow the rest of the cars in the top 5 to catch them.
Maybe. I don't know if that will, because even though they're battling, they are pulling ahead. Ooh, 39 gets a little tight. Almost made contact with the 2. They are rocketing around. And if you can see on this camera just how much of a lead these guys have. There they are, finally the top of your screen at the very end of that camera pan. These two absolutely going at it.
Those 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
And that they are, as now Sammy Cobb goes to the 3rd place spot. Brett Pritchard dives to the inside, trying to make a move on Aaron.
Yeah, this group of cars have not been able to get away from each other.
Now, we've talked about how fast Zach McAdoo was at the beginning portions of this race. He is up 13 spots already. Car number 17.
As of right now, he is the biggest mover forward on track.
And how much of a player was he last night? This driver was bad fast, kept up with the main 4 cars that were leading this thing, and even threatened before green flag pit stops at the win. McAdoo has Vegas down. Keep an eye on the 17 car throughout the race.
And on the opposite side, the biggest mover backwards has been the 81 of Jeff Cannon.
Absolutely.
Down 19 spots.
Struggling. And this Ghost Serial 81 Toyota Camry for Amir Gazoo Racing. Not been a good night. You see he's frustrated, getting right on the back bumper of these Douglas Motorsports cars.
Not been the start of the season for the 81 that they've wanted.
Definitely isn't. Might have another battle for the lead going as Ryan has re-caught Nick Fountain after being back by a couple tenths. We see that he may be just trying to reset the tires every time he tries to make this lunge. He'll back off a little bit, let it cool down, and then try again. The dirty air isn't as prevalent as the Pro Series, but it is still definitely. And they're still 4 seconds ahead of this main pack, and they still keep shuffling back here.
And none of these drivers want to run single file, clearly. They all want to be side by side.
The draft is really powerful at Las Vegas, and they are trying to use it to their advantage.
And see, that was something I kept doing last night in the Pro Series race. I had an issue with tires falling out too quickly, but the draft helped keep me alive in the long run. And that even though the tires are completely different in the series, they run General Tire, not Goodyear. It will be huge. How about Reckless Racing right now? 3rd, 9th, and 10th. The only one that's further down the grid is Langelier in 22nd, but they're having a great run so far.
But you gotta remember, Jay's still getting used to being back in a seat. So...
yeah, it was a last-minute call. But he will find a footing, and we're going to a track that he was very successful at soon. That's Rockingham, where he had his name made back when he used to drive for Connor.
As Aaron slipped up on the top lane there.
Got a lot of marbles up top. Don't want to be getting up too high.
Which, quietly, Brandon Cresta has worked his way up to 4th.
He really has. Up 11 spots from where he started, and now he needs to set his eyes on Quinones and pull away from this pack. But Cobb's been really good with the side draft and staying with the cars, not letting him get too far ahead.
Now, a couple of our front runners and picks of Dylan Tudgton and Justin Osborne have fallen and found themselves in 14th and 16th, but that could always change once the sun goes fully down.
Yeah, the only one that stayed up so far is Sammy Cobb in this number 77. The Elite 77, might I add.
They haven't won in so long to keep that name.
Driver on the move at the moment.
Wow.
Just cracked the top 10, and he's going to put the bumper to one of his fellow Toyotas. That's Connor Meir moving up in the Ghost Energy Toyota.
Well, between that and the move Chris Davis just did.
Major side drafting down the backstretch.
Oh, and that was almost going to be a huge trouble with the 41. Connor slammed the door on the 41 car. He knew if he had better qualifying last night, he could have had a chance at taking home the W once again in the Pro Series. You know he is eager to have a good finish tonight. Especially since the sponsor on his hood is the sponsor of this race. We're in Ghost Energy's hometown. In fact, we are 5 miles from the warehouse. How about Nick Fountain, though? He's actually beginning to pull away from Ryan DeLusso. He's out about almost a full second over the 2 car. So Nick's is starting to figure this out. It may be a minor difference between these 2 machines, but he'll be slightly better, at least it is at the moment, over Ryan's number 2.
Got camera issues up in the booth.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, it's frozen.
That it is.
Arrow.
And try that. Ryan's starting to reel in the number 39 a bit more. Last couple laps, he's been about a tenth and a half faster.
There we go. Camera back. All right.
This could be the game of tires. Now, we saw fall off was typically what, about 20, 25 laps was when you really started to notice fall off?
Yeah, it's about 20, 25 laps. Definitely by about 30, which is be halfway through the run.
Now, they are different
really
fuel
should.
tank sizes, so we actually are anticipating fuel stops around that 40 45. But an issue for Nick Fountain is going to let Ryan get an easy pass.
Might have been pushing too hard.
They are also catching Dakota Caldale, which will be.
We saw this last week with Arthur Xavier. Might have been pushing too hard in the fight against Ryan DeLusso.
And now they're going to switch yet again. Whatever Fountain had an issue with may have found it recovered. Or is he liking the high line better?
I think Ryan could have pressed the issue more and the front stretch that way to keep with Fountain.
Ryan is such a veteran driver, though. He sees that lap car in front and knows he's going to be able to use it to his advantage.
Getting closer and closer to the number 5 car of DK Cottle. He'll be the first car to go a lap down tonight, and it's going to be Travis Dawson, both of the noon cars, running 41st and 42nd respectively. So keep an eye on those cars as we get closer to them.
I don't think the outside is
contact between our two leaders. Ryan on the corner, Pat on the 39. It uses that to drag the 39 car backward and complete the pass.
That's the first time we've seen a pass on the outside through 1 and 2. Very strong move by the 2-car team.
You can tell Ryan's confidence level is currently through the roof in that Chevrolet. Very happy behind the wheel, but so is Nick Fountain.
And Nick Fountain is hungry. Remember Sonoma with his battle with the 26 car, as well as the 15 of Quinizo. That is going to be a Toyota that is very anxious to get a win.
Oh, and we have pit stop starting with back markers of Elias Nassar.
About to go a lap down. Why not try something different? Elias Nassar comes down on pit road for routine service.
Hitting every 30 laps would be interesting.
And
such a wrench to throw into this.
Isn't like Tim Salmon's coming down as well?
That's a lot shorter than the predictions. This is a short stop. It's actually Salmon looking like he's out of control, bringing that car on pit road as both of the leaders get around the number 5 car with ease.
That would give us about a 4-stop race, which would be really interesting for Las Vegas.
All right, we are seeing 2 tires out of the noon racing camp so far. Elias Nassar did 2 tires, and so does Tim Salmon.
So as Nick Fountain goes back to the lead, the DirecTV Toyota Camry has made its way around the 2-car of Ryan DeLusso.
So we're not seeing an issue of tires. This is just how short the fuel run is. That is definitely a lot shorter than expected. Fuel mileage was expected at lap 40. But they pitted 10 laps sooner.
You're going to see just how much more speed Elias Nassar does have from our 2 leaders. He's going to make quick work of Fountain and DeLusso.
So keep in mind, he's got 2 fresh right side tires on that number 1 machine. But you'll see the difference
despite
in car
running
play out.
Deep in the field. As he had a little bit of an issue in 3 and 4 that time. It's going to allow Nick Fountain to go against Ryan DeLusso. Ryan lets him have it, and the lap led.
Noon Racing knew that they were lacking some power coming into this race, so their main goal was
has come down pit road, and that's the 79. Sorry about that, Brett.
No, Noon Racing knew their goal was to make the race and maybe pick up a couple spots if there was a couple accidents. So.
And the big wrench thrown into this would be a caution that would really trap the 79 a lap down at this point. He would get the option for a wave around, but he's still going to have to fight through the field. Seeing Weathers, Touchton, and Young have all come down pit road. It's It's going to be, when do these leaders decide to come down? That was the big thing in the Pro Series race. We saw such high variation in pit strategy between our front runners and the rest of the field. It was spread out by about 15 laps, which we could see that happening here again.
The 5 car has had so much speed since pitting that it is now ahead of the 19 car. So pitting is going to gain you so much time. This is only 30 laps in. So like imagine if we went the 40 or 50 laps that they actually could go all the way down on fuel. There would be such a huge advantage to pitting early.
And that is the game of the undercut, overcut, and we have one of our leaders coming down. It's Ryan DeLusso in the number 2 machine. Critical pit stop coming from one of the main leaders, going for the undercut on Nick Fountain. Now, if there was going to be a proper response, it would be he needs to pit this time. So we'll see what the response will be while we monitor
running lower.
What Ryan does.
We should see the 39 down this time, judging by the line.
It would be the smartest thing to do. That way he doesn't have to be worried about getting undercutted, and that's what he's going to do.
I think we're still going to see the 2 car is going to maximize his run through pit lane, and he'll have the lead.
It's a slow stop for Ryan DeLusso, 9.47 seconds. That is about a second and a half off what most of the teams do for their 2-tire stop. I'm curious to see what he will do when he comes back around, though.
We got Brad Smith, Eugene Hawk, Weisbecker, Izzo, Cobb, all staying out right now.
The most important car that we need to see right here is going to be the number 39. What did they drop the jack? It's slightly slower, 9.53. Both of the leaders with slow pit stops. Rest of the field coming in. That's going to let Sammy Cobb lead a lap.
They would have used more fuel checking out from the rest of the field, so it makes sense that their stops are slower.
That's going to allow the rest of the field to close that gap that those 2 created.
And that's really the problem that you have to, you have to pay it forward. Like, if you're going to go full blast, you're going to have a longer stop.
This is where having the top dog crew chiefs can be the biggest thing of the race. And for you to have not just the nut behind the wheel, but who is in control. And that is going to be a big deciding factor, because you can be faster around this racetrack with shorter pit stop times. But maybe because of that, you have to pit 1 or 2 additional times versus the longer pit stops and the slower lap times. So,
which, as it looks, Nick Fountain will cycle back to the lead with about a half a second lead over DeLusso.
So they stay about dead even. That was about pitch perfect for both of these drivers getting on and off pit road, as Nick Fountain does take that lead back again. We might see these other drivers that stayed out a bit longer drop even further. We'll see how it goes. You see Cobb actually will even drop all the way outside the top 10, and a driver who's short pitted, this is why it's so important, Austin Yoakum, who's short pitted, is now inside the top 10. That's the power of what is called the undercut. Pit sooner,
we'll see what happens with the drivers
rubber.
who pitted the latest. It's like Eugene Hawk is now back to 19th place. We'll see where he is at the end of this cycle.
There's that number 40 car. Something you don't see on a lot of cars that you do see on the front of that 40 cars, even though it's a matte paint scheme, they run that clear-coated bra on the front of the car. That's to help with the air going over the car, because even at tracks like this, it matters.
Hasn't really been working for his favor up to this point, though.
Hey, remember when we said to keep an eye on the 17 car? He is up 21 positions, up to P4. The Mac attack.
He's there.
Guarantee you that this is just the beginning for the 17 car. He is going to be in the mix by the time this race is over.
And that got really dicey with air getting really loose on the bottom, which is actually the opposite. We saw cars getting tight in the Pro Series on the bottom. It's difficult to pass in 1 and 2.
1 and 2 is really where you can gain the most time, though, because of how difficult it is to navigate those longer turns. Because 1 and 2 is longer than 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is much tighter. Not by too much, but it's very noticeable. Like when you're driving the track, you have more banking in 1 and 2, and the walls at the end of turn 4 really come up to you very quickly. when you're exiting the last two turns, and so it gives you a tighter feel. And it may not see it on paper, but it's a very dynamic track from end to end.
See now the number 17 is becoming to be under fire by Noed Patwary. These guys pitted about the same time. Noed with one lap fresher tires than the 17 of Zach McAdoo.
You see, the 26 has better short run pace, but they do not have long run pace.
They really do not. He began to drop off at the last run. So did Krasta in that number 63 car.
You know, who had a horrible pit stop and completely flew under the radar of. He went from top 5 to outside the top 10, and that was Connor Muir.
In fact, yes, he did. Dropped all the way down to the 11th spot. And what was that pit stop for him?
Uno Momento.
I'd say it was a 9.58 for Connor Muir.
Yeah.
Pitting on lap 30.
It's about on par with our top two.
I believe our slowest total pit time actually went to Pritchard, who was on pit road for a total of 41.38 seconds. That, I believe, is the longest that any driver spent on pit road on this first cycle. I'm corrected. It was 42.08, but that's for the rookie team of Marissa Miranda.
Are you telling me that an IRM car had pit struggle?
You know, that's also another roller coaster. It's like
That
Rob
was their
Kreider
season.
just went a lap down. That's P39 right there behind him. And that is going to be the theme of the race, is these two. Don't forget, we've been caution-free for this first half of the race. So expect at lap number 73, we will have a competition caution. Unless we have a yellow flag between now and then.
As you see Elias going a lap down.
They just had a pretty successful race in the mini stocks with their new driver. Top 10 on debut, got a point on the board. And Jeff Cannon has continued to struggle. He keeps falling further and further down. He's down to 33rd at this point.
Yeah, that car is lacking speed. I don't know if it's setup missed, if they're focusing fully on Osborne and Connor. Because I mean, even Caitlin's car has been struggling this last couple weeks, and she's up 10 spots, but she's only in 31st.
I was gonna say, where is she? But yeah, only a couple of spots
Directly
ahead.
So
At 92. I don't know. That's a bizarre one. Ryan DeLuca has been catching back up to Nick Fountain. The story all race has been between these two.
Yeah, no one else has been able to chop down this 5, almost 6-second lead that they've stretched it out to.
Yeah, no, it's going to come down to that reset at the yellow to see how that is going to play out. Back here, it has still been McAdoo, Krasta, Douglas, and Patwary all in this battle over here. Then it's the two IRM guys racing around each other.
Kind of quiet, but Tim Salmon is up 23 spots there.
Yeah, he's been
with his
slowly
shortcut.
moving up. I've been keeping an eye on the 51. About 3 wide, actually, here through the tri-oval.
All 3 TSX cars are right here under our blanket.
Yeah, they really are. Oh, and a contact between the two TSX cars. But did put the 15 in the wall. Quinn Ezo. Talk about timing of having the camera there. That's going to set him back a few spots. As the other TSX car puts a dive on 2 cars for 1 single pass. Are we seeing Chris Davis beginning to drop more again?
I don't know if it's because he's caught on the outside or if he maybe made an adjustment and it's not working. But yeah, looks like he's starting to drop a little bit more.
I mean, he was in just outside the top 10. Now he's about to be outside
I
the
mean,
top 15.
all three of our picks are right here, 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Are they just
so.
gonna move down the trend? Is that what we got for picking them?
I guess so. Maybe we should not pick.
The curse.
Yeah, we have created a new FARCA curse, apparently.
I've just been keeping my eye on this McAdoo machine. I'm surprised that whatever adjustment. Oh, we got another battle for the lead going on as DeLusso has caught the 39.
It looks like he's opting for that higher lane.
Yep, made the attempt, didn't quite get it to stick. It's worked for him before, so why not keep trying it? I love the at the back of the car.
The signal, the 2.
On board with the Nick Fountain. And he really had to check up there in the center of the corner. I think we're seeing that Nick has been overdriving the car. This is just like Eugene and Brad in the previous race. Looks like he might dip towards the inside. Nick moved him down a half a lane.
They are catching both Greg and Marissa.
That's will be interesting with the lap traffic. Navigation, very important no matter what track you go to.
This will be the first time they're catching lap traffic that are also battling for position. But the rest of the lap traffic they've caught has been single cars. Which Nick Fountain cannot get around the lap car of Marissa Miranda.
He's
There he
out
goes.
having a holiday.
He's able to get a run, but he's still struggling to get around these lap cars.
DeLusso shoving it on the outside, gets right to the back bumper of this 39. He's going to try and use Graziano as a pick.
This may not serve out for the 2 car. I think Graziano's going to want to use the inside line through 1 and 2.
I think DeLusso sees that. He begins to purposely back out. And nope, that was just to set the corner up and charged back to the inside. Ryan manipulating the car as much as he can. And now will you... Oh, but Nick Fountain, what a move!
Wow. And I don't know if Andy Bewley has damage or what's going on, but that car is slow.
I don't think Andy expected the 39 to spawn out of existence there, but Nick Fountain, what a defensive move to try and hold this lead.
Little jump scare in the mirror for that.
And now uses Graziano as the pick, a fellow Chevrolet. Saw manufacturer games that played in many times before that helps Ryan DeLusso retake the lead.
They will have a little bit, maybe a lap or so, before they catch the next lap car.
And we got about 13 laps until the halfway.
Which the rest of the top 10 has basically mellowed out where they were. A couple switches here and there, but
Hearing from FARCA officials, they anticipate the halfway break to be coming into what would be the theoretical second pit window, and if cycles begin, they will hold off the yellow until the cycle is finished to not disrupt the cycle. I believe that everybody is going to be cool with that.
Well, as they get around Citadino, Nick Fountain has caught back up to DeLusso.
Looking towards the inside as we go across the front straightaway, DeLusso goes to pinch him down onto the apron, try and upset the balance of that car on corner entry, and he's utilizing that outside lane. He will use that to hold on to this lead as they approach another Chevrolet. That's DK Cottle, and he will easily let the 2 car by. And he's kind enough to let the 39 go on through and not disrupt the battle for the lead. Brandon Krasta out into the second pack here has actually gotten around McAdoo and Quinones, and he is up to the 3rd spot now.
Yeah, McAdoo also just got around Quinones.
Quinones starting to fade.
3.5, almost 4 seconds between 5th and 6th.
Yeah, and they've almost lost 7 seconds to the top 2.
That is just how crazy fast they are. But these 2 reckless cars continuing to battle. Starting to see the 97 fade as well. Has been passed by quite a few cars down to 9th. Looks like Yoakum's going to turn that into another one. Battle for the lead raging on as Fountain and has gotten back around to Lusso. Retakes the lead. Several lead changes tonight, but only between 2 different cars. I think this is DeLusso
Yeah, it looks like
backing
it's
off.
another week. Yeah, I don't really know. I think the 39's got this one in the bag.
I'd say DeLusso just ran a 32.0 on that lap, so.
That's quite a drop off. And the first taker is Austin Yoakum.
Which we saw him undercut last time, so he's just doing another undercut.
And he's been joined by Alliance team. That's Elias Nassar, who has also joined him down pit road as well. So this is the official. And there's the call over the radio. They are holding off the halfway break until the pit cycle is complete. That is to not disturb the strategy of the field.
When will we see these 2 front runners drop down, though?
That's going to be the important call. Ryan getting another good charge as they approach the lap traffic. Time to make another well-timed pass. He's got 2 MGR cars in front of him. And it's going to be a quick and easy pass into turn 1. Oh, Nick, don't slide into the 2. That would be disastrous if our leaders take themselves out. I'm sure Zach McAdoo would like that.
Nicholas Fountain is stuck behind the 81.
Yeah, that's not going to fare well.
Yeah,
All right, got to the marbles. Got more cars coming down pit road. It's going to be Dylan Touchton, the IRM car, and Kenny Mambura out of Rebel Racing. 2 Fords have found their way down pit road.
So Eugene Hawk just came off pit road. Oh, here comes DeLusso.
All right, here's our pit strategy for how long that they went on this last time through. You see the number of laps, which means we are approaching when they would pit.
Last time Nick Fountain came immediately after Ryan DeLusso, so we should expect that this time too.
But it
Of
will
course, he
be
stays out.
different strategy.
And that's a great pit stop this time for Ryan DeLusso. 8.75. Let's see if the pitting sooner will translate to positions. Chris Davis also making his way in with Quinn Ezo. We saw that immediately Nick Fountain decided to, what they would call in Formula Racing, a box opposite, and he's going to do the same thing here again. Do whatever the 2-car does is the call from the Supreme Motorsports camp so far tonight. That might even frustrate the crew chief of the 2-car, because I think the play for them might be to now let the 39 make the call for the next time they come down to pit. But we'll see where they cycle.
We're going to allow Krasta to lead a lap, possibly.
And he has. Ryan didn't even go a lap down. That is how far ahead they were. But where will he come out in terms of Nick Fountain, who is leaving pit road?
He's got to get all the way through 1 and 2, though, coming up to speed.
Looks like he just might. God,
I think Duluth is going to have too much of a run.
this is going to be one hell of a battle for the win tonight between these two. That is just perfection between these two crews.
Here comes Krasta coming down, surrendering the lead.
And this is going to be your in-turn battle for the lead as they continue to make the cycles. DeLusso now dives to the inside. Quinones may be leading, but this is what the lead will be. Unless there's a yellow. Krasik just now getting to his
Which
box.
we still have roughly 10 cars that need to come down pit road.
Only yellow here is going to be if there's a crash. Otherwise, we're waiting until everybody cycles. Quinones comes on in. And so does Brett Pritchard. And Noah Patwary. That means Deacon Jones is going to stay out with Andrew Weisbecker. Weisbecker, the teammate to the 39 car, now leads a lap of the race. Oh, I think they unlocked something in this 2 car. He's already starting to pull on the 39.
Yes, but is it really worth trying to run away? They know the
They do that. That is fair. That is fair. But how long until it does? These cars continue to stay out. Sammy Cobb and David Walsh coming in this time. And we got a car stopped on the track. We have had an accident. Brad Smith has crashed. The number 30 car damaged heavily on the front straightaway.
That's a lot of damage there.
That is really unfortunate for this number 30 car. Let's see if we can figure out what happened with him. And he is really damaged in this machine. Oh, looks like it was a 3-wide battle between the 56. That's Timmy Weathers on that blank white car on the bottom. Then it's Aaron Douglas in the Rockstar Recovery orange car in the center. And just keep an eye here on that 30 car on the outside. And he made contact and, or maybe just the tire blew. It just went straight to the outside wall.
I don't know if he came down and rubbed against Aaron's car and cut a tire, but yeah, it made that car make a hard right into the wall.
Another way we can see this, let's write on board and see if it was contact or what. Oh, no, I think the tire just blew. It just went straight into the corner and got loose and hooked right into the outside wall. That is really, really unfortunate for the 30 car of Brad Smith. He was having a decent run going on for the night.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of damage for that car. So.
Oh, yeah, you can see suspension there. Everything disconnected. That car, nothing. That is going to be done to the garage for car number 30. But back up here, and we got cars coming down pit road. That is going to be Andrew Weisbecker, Demon Jones, Rob McPherson, even Ryan DeLusso. Everybody coming down pit road right now.
Will this be the time where they take 4 tires instead of the 2-tire strategy?
I think we might be seeing that here, especially with the tire failure. However, it looks like that's still not the case. Over teams could just be switching out the other side of the tires. I think that's what we're seeing. Nope, we do have 4 tire changes. Rob McPherson, 4 tires. Andrew Weisbecker, 4 tires. Deacon Jones, 4 tires and a huge track bar adjustment for car number 28. They are fundamentally changing the way that car is handling in the night. Zach McAdoo, 4 tires and an adjustment as well for the 17 car. Wow, oh wow. So this race just shifted.
That it did.
And we're going to see a lot of cars getting the wave around here because of the timing of the caution. Traps many cars 1 lap down. Only 13 cars are on the lead lap. That will change to 36 after the wave arounds are completed, waiting for everybody to also then pit as a result of this. So while that's going on, we'll be back after the crazy crash of the number 30 of Brad Smith, blown a tire, bringing out the first yellow of the night.
Coming this year to a track near you, the Enzyte 50 with Smilin' Bob. Feel the thrills, feel the chills, feel the excitement of 3,000 pounds of raw racing power. Catch the action as Bob slices through the competition like a warm knife through butter and starts to make friends with some of the other fellas at the track. Yes, watch Bob as he takes the checker and makes his way to victory lane. You could buy the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. With his foot to the floor and a tank full of confidence, looks like it's non-stop action for Smilin' Bob and the Enzyte 50. This year, catch the thrills and chills of motorsport racing and experience natural male enhancement with Enzyte. 3 samples of Enzyte available while supplies last. Just call or visit enzyte.com. Because with Enzyte, everybody wins.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple Whopper, Flame Grill taste with perfect toppers. I rule this day. Lettuce, mayo, pickle, ketchup, it's okay if I don't want that Impossible or Bacon Whopper. Any Whopper my way. You rule your season a day at BK. Have it your way.
Skipper, let's see what the Colonel got you.
Okay. A KFC $5 fill-up? Yes! With popcorn chicken that's made with 1 piece of chicken. Not like those nuggets that come in funny shapes.
Did you like it?
I got one too! There's even a cookie. This is the best Christmas ever.
And honey, the Colonel didn't leave us out.
She liked it, right?
It's a $20 family fill-up! That's a great home-cooked meal that we don't have to home-cook.
Well, well, well. Now I don't know who to jack off to.
Fuck you, Baltimore!
If you're dumb enough to buy a new car this weekend,
You're a big enough schmuck to come to Big Bill Hell's Cars!
bad deal.
Cars that break down!
Thieves.
If you think you're gonna find a bargain at Big Bill,
You can kiss my ass.
it's our belief that you're such a stupid motherfucker!
You'll fall for this bullshit.
Guaranteed!
If you find a better deal,
Shove it up your ugly ass!
you heard us right.
Shove it up your ugly ass!
Bring your tray.
Bring your title!
Bring your wife.
We'll fuck her!
That's right, we'll fuck your wife.
Because at Big Bill Hell,
You're fucked 6 ways from Sunday.
take a hike
to Big Bill Hell.
home of challenge pissing!
That's right.
Challenge pissing!
How does it work?
If you can piss 6 feet in the air straight up and not get wet,
You get no down payment.
don't wait!
Don't delay.
Don't fuck with us or we'll rip your nuts off!
Only at Big Bill Hell.
The only dealer that tells you to fuck off!
Hurry up, asshole.
This event ends the minute after you write us a check!
And it better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker.
Go to hell!
Big Bill Hell's Cars.
Baltimore's filthiest!
And exclusive home of the meanest sons of bitches in the state of Maryland.
Guaranteed!
And welcome back to the Ghost Energy 350K. Wave rounds are taking place. A lot of cars needed to get one, as we're only going to have about 13 cars. Sorry, about 12 cars were initially on this lead lap. So just give it some time while everything's going through. As it is taking a bit. So many cars got trapped as it was mid-cycle. We're going to jump back through and just go over again why we are currently under the caution, and that happened because of Brad Smith. Again, this is car number 30 as we were heading into the corner. And this is actually going to be from a different perspective. This is going to be from the number 79 car of Justin Osborne. So we're watching out the backside of this car. Pay attention to that car on the left-hand side right up against the wall. That is the car that had the issue. And right there, we can see there was contact with car number 97. And that is what caused the issue there with Brad Smith. 3 wide, hard racing into the corner. Difference of 2 cars speed, and that is what ended up bringing out the yellow and potentially ending the race for car number 30, who still sits, I believe he still sits in the garage. I actually may be incorrect about that. Did car number 30 come back out?
I think he might be back out on track.
Oh, look at that. Wow, front clip back on and everything. Hats off to the crew. They came back down multiple times. So I'm not sure how long it took for them to get that car fixed.
Or how well it's fixed. I mean, it might look fixed, but good amount of damage underneath, so.
This is the biggest ring around the rosy I think I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Looks like we're getting closer and closer. We're down to car number 38, and then I think that is going to be the end of it. Then we're going to see the biggest string of cars on that inside lane, practically only going to be about a few lanes that are going to be side by side. That is because of how many cars got the wave around. Just waiting for the cars to catch up. Which means we're going to go ahead and throw this to 2 to go before we can get back to racing again. And what a crazy race we've had all night long. It's been the show between Ryan DeLusso and Nick Fountain. We're now regulated to 6th and 7th, but these cars are bad, fast machines. But now they're in the dirty air.
Yeah, that could be a huge difference. It could allow a new driver to pop up and show some speed. That could, or we might see these two jump right back up front.
I just want to say, my pick's leading the race right now.
We're under caution.
He's still going to be leading when we go green.
Will he lead when we come back around, though?
Oh, I hope so. Sammy Cobb's in the bad fast car. That's the elite number 77. Nexus Racing.
All right.
I do want to kind of keep an eye on Andrew Weisbecker, teammate to Nick Fountain. The setup can't be that different. And he's in a really good position here of being gifted some track position thanks to the caution. I wouldn't imagine that he would do bad. Man, this is going to save Rob McPherson. He's been having a terrible race.
There is a whole lot of reckless and IRM cars going about 7-8 cars deep in that inside lane.
That's going to be interesting.
A lot of powerful Fords.
All right, lights on the pace car are out. Green flag next time around. We'll be restarting on lap 85 out of 145. If you're on the East Coast and still tuning in and watching this thing, we thank you dearly. Or we know it's midnight out there. It's 9 o'clock here on the East Coast.
West Coast, you mean?
Yeah.
Yep. We have officially raced into the following day on the East Coast.
You know what time it is? It's tomorrow.
I do know that it is tomorrow. But only for FARCA.
Oh, Ryan. What do you got for us, Ryan? What do you got for us, Nick?
Oh, well, stay green.
What do cautions do? They breed cautions. Green
Yes, they
flag
do.
is back out in the air. Sammy Cobb leads us off the line. The outside line struggles. We are back underway.
Sammy Cobb is able to pull away for now from that inside lane.
And they say 2 by 2, multiple lanes back for the initial part of this restart. Nick Fountain's done the better between him and DeLusso.
Yeah, that outside lane did not get going.
Ryan's going to try to be on the attack as Nick Fountain's already back to third place behind Deacon Jones.
Teammate Weisbecker behind struggled, but let him bike cleanly. Maybe he'll block to help out the teammate too. Supreme Motorsport cars. Fountain actually struggled on the bottom there.
Weisbecker's going to try to go back around the 28 car.
Getting a little dicey. You see cars jumping inside lane to outside lane.
You hear Ryan hammering and battering on that throttle. He wants to get around the 16.
As they are 3 wide. Almost.
Weisbecker starting to come alive here on this restart. He's not making the move on to Deacon Jones.
Yeah, he had a better run last lap around, but this time looks like Deacon Jones has got the better of him.
And they're both about a half second faster than what Sammy Cobb ran. So
Hey, 3 wide towards the back of the pack here again. Almost another TXX car going into the same wall. That was close. That would have been Quinn Izzo. Ryan DeLusso just set the fastest lap of the race in P5. He's on the back bumper of David Walsh. He's got white Toyotas all around him.
But he's also got a teammate in this mix, just
Battle for
like
the lead.
Nick Fountain.
Deacon Jones,
Nick
Fountain! Wow!
Nick Fountain back and forth trying to find a lane.
We have a
he was
huge
searching.
battle. Huge battle for the lead going on. It's Deacon, Nick Fountain, Sammy Cobb, previous champion, Walsh. And here comes Zach McAdoo joining in the battle.
McAdoo's here, so let's see what happens.
This is incredible stuff as they head down to turns 3 and 4.
Talking about previous champions, there's a Canadian approaching.
He is in 8th position. Keep an eye on him. He's almost here. As we're about to go, oh, Deacon was debating 3 wide on the front stretch. We still have 50 to go, and they're racing this hard, and it's a battle for the lead. Once again with Cobb backing up. Nick Fountain retakes the lead on the outside.
Yes, but here comes everybody else.
3 wide behind into the corner. They stay trouble free. Almost 4
the Canadians
wide.
Yeah, Yoakum was not wanting to back out of that one.
Ryan has got to be frustrated right now, sitting P9. So many cars, differing strategies. Here comes McAdoo to the inside of Sammy Cobb. The lightning fast 17. Mac Attack is now heading for P1. Look out, Nick Fountain. Here comes a Ford.
It's been all Toyota Chevy this whole race, but there's a couple Fords working their way up.
I would not count out this car. Don't forget how fast he was last night in the Pro Series. He was a force to be reckoned with and considered an absolute menace last night. He has a fast car in both series. He's going to want to bring home a victory. And here he comes to the inside of Nick Fountain. Zach McAdoo takes the lead for the first time tonight.
He's going to pull Deacon Jones with him past the two Supreme Motorsports cars.
And here comes DeLusso fighting back.
How about Supreme on this restart? They have really had the cards, pun intended, fall into their hands here in Vegas. Oh, that was close. Near contact between Weathers and DeLusso. Deacon Jones peeking to the inside for the race lead. McAdoo leaves the lane. And new leader, Deacon Jones in the Lowe's 28. Guys, there's still 50 to go.
Yeah. And we haven't seen them pull away. There's too many cars in this group. They can't pull away like what Fountain and DeLusso did for the first.
Dude's looking late to the inside through 1 and 2.
Right to the quarter panel, using the side drive from the center of the corner was Zach McAdoo. He's got Benjamin Thomas riding with him on the hood. How proud would it be for him to win here at Vegas, a track that Ben loved. And now here comes Nick Fountain getting around Deacon Jones. Look at Austin Yoakum into the top 5.
Yoakum just had one of the best runs off of turn 4 I think anybody has had.
I 100% agree with you there. He has got the momentum built up in this IRM number 4. To the inside, 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. Ryan DeLusso splits the 2 cars and goes back into 3rd place. What a move. Absolute cinema of racing we are having tonight in Vegas. What was a 2-car battle has turned into a 5-car dogfight for the lead. McAdoo with a half a second lead has been the biggest so far since the restart. Almost to the triple-digit portions of the race. These two still battling, and Quinones starting to claw his way back up. Getting dicey with David Walsh.
Like Weisbecker just set his fastest lap of the race.
And he did that by passing to... Oh, DeLusso struggling.
Yeah, DeLusso missed that corner completely.
In fact, what has Supreme got cooking up for us? Both of their cars have caught Zach McAdoo. To the inside, Andrew Weisbecker.
I thought they would go inside, outside.
And coming to the line, it's nearly a Supreme 1-2. Yet again, another new leader. Here comes Austin Yoakum to the inside.
Here, DeLusso got around Fountain as well, or almost.
And Deacon's going to make it 3 wide. And it looks like the 39 of Fountain able to deny that. Could have been dicey. I don't know what these guys all changed on pit road on that last caution, but the entire dynamic of the race has changed. Ryan trying to go for yet again another 3 wide split.
Gonna push Fountain 3 wide behind and lose a couple more spots.
Talk about car confidence. DeLusso has all of the trust and faith in that number 2 Chevrolet.
There's a shadow approaching there in 8th.
And that is Brett Pritchard. Brett the Threat. We've seen how fast these IRM cars have been getting towards the end part of this race. That begs me to wonder, where's Dylan Tutchin?
touched in, missed the setup. Is in 19th.
Apparently, Crasta
Oh,
just cracked. Oh,
Richard's just gonna split everybody 3 wide.
that could have been, and he's gonna do it again.
He's still gonna do it.
On the move is the threat, wearing the colors of the Intimidator himself, up to 5th now, Brett Pritchard. DeLusso fights back on the outside.
Which, by the way, like 4 or 5 laps ago, Pritchard was like 13. So,
Keeping an eye on him. What do the Fords have? It's going to be a battle between the Fords and the Toyotas, with one or two lone Chevrolets.
No. It's 2v2v2, roughly.
Squeezing them to the outside. Quinones trying to arrow push the 44.
Basically, everybody in the top 8 has a teammate.
They still have a green flag pit cycle.
There's 4 teams and 8 cars in the top 8. Everybody has a friend. That is odd.
And I was going to mention that Andrew Weisbecker was beginning to check out to a 1.8 second lead, but as I was about to glance back at that again and make the call, McAdoo was made up 1.3 seconds on Weisbecker. And the first of it begins. Jacob McMillan comes down pit road, and I actually see right front damage on that car. He may have gotten into the wall. We'll have to check back in of what happened to the 12 machine.
Deacon Jones got around Yoakum.
It was a routine pit stop, I'm hearing from the Western Auto Camp. That was 2 tires and fuel. Routine stop for the 12. They're trying to go to the end of the race. So
who will we start seeing?
Yeah, when do you pit? Because this is where the undercut could be the most advantageous. It's the final pit stop of the race. Speaking of which, both of the IRM cars, the 4 and the 44, are in the top 5 now. And DeLusso wanted to prove me wrong immediately. And the most chaotic race we've had so far of the season. I don't even know who's going to win this thing at all.
I don't think it's going to be anybody that we picked.
And that could flop all because of pit strategy. We've seen it multiple times this year, last year. It's crucial.
No one else has came down pit road yet.
I hope there's people watching it. This is spectacular. When to pit. Remember when I said it might be smart for the 2 cars to let the other cars pit ahead of him this time? I think I'm going to let that stand. If Ryan wants a chance at this, I think he needs to let the others make the call. McAdoo has caught Andrew Weisbecker.
I think he does, but at the same time, DeLusso just lost 2, almost 3 spots.
That's fair. That's fair.
So.
Check again at the stints.
Pit road.
Oh, there's the big one. Austin Yoakum of IRM, the undercutter for the entire race.
He's been doing this all race, and it's worked to his advantage every single time.
Well, check back in to see what he runs for his total time on pit road. We are about to reach where everybody else has in the next 3 to 5 laps. So when will they pit? And they have enough to go full beans at this point. And I'm really curious to see a certain driver who pitted really early in this stint, how he may fare.
Yoakum had a little bit of a longer pit stop with a 40.35 total pit lane, but Did they pack it full of fuel? Did they make an adjustment?
Fuel should not be a concern at this point of the race. They can definitely make it all the way from where they have pitted. The only car that was iffy was the one that pitted first. That was Jacob McMillan in the number 12. But everyone else should not have to worry about fuel, just the 12 car. And if we get a caution, that is going to be an all-out frenzy. Because everyone will have to pit. And then it's going to be all-out equal playing field about who gets on and off pit road the best. Crucial pit stops. And with Andrew getting this gap here, I can imagine that's on purpose, knowing they're about to get fresh right side tires. Eugene Hawk, the number 40, has come in. The teammate.
We got a couple more coming in.
Crucial thing, this is the team owner to the 28 and the 2 who are currently in 3rd and 4th. So I think this is going to be a test call to see how everything's going to go before they bring the teammates down. Watch to see them pitch soon. It's an 8-12 for Eugene Hawk, an 8-12. And again, another, what could be a test candidate here. They got 2 cars running up towards the top of the pack right now. Or sorry, the other one our pit did the short pit. But here comes the 69.
They're all on their own. They're all on 3 different strategies at this point. So
here comes Aaron, the Western Auto Racing driver and team owner. Comes down the pit road, and that was flying down into pit entry. I don't know if he was speeding or not.
Lizzie was flying right behind him.
That's just the drivers trying to maximize any possible tenth of a second they can squeeze out of their in and out pit cycle. The 97 now on pit road for service. 30 laps to go at the line. 30 to go for the race. 8.7, 2 tires and fuel from the 97, and they're away. Lizzie Wesley is slightly faster.
Okay.
Chris Davis and Timmy Weathers down the pit road, the 06 and the 55.
Just outside the top 10, so we're starting to see more and more leaders come down.
Man, Krasser's got such a long run car. He's really been picking through the field as the end of this run has gone in, whispering to his tires in that number 63. Checking back in at that pit stop length, this is officially going to be the longest that our leaders have ran on these tires all race long. This is the longest stint, so they're hoping, what I would assume, is that they're going to run as hard as they can for this final stint. Give it everything they got and try and stretch this out.
Connor Mears coming down pit road.
That he is, and away they go. 8.68, 2 tires and fuel, and his teammate joined him down pit road, Justin Osborne. And since this has been the longest these cars have stayed out, take a look at the lap times. This is still pretty respectable for the last 5 laps. And here comes Andrew Weisbecker down pit road.
With Deacon Jones.
That was extremely great timing. You could hear them on the radio. They were calling pit, 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 pit for the 28 car. The moment they saw the 41. And we expect to see the rest of them follow next time right around.
Yep, it looks like McAdoo's wanting to do it as well as Fountain.
You can see the backfiring of the 17. So yes, they are bringing them back down. Final pit stops. Here they come. DeLuso's going to stay out with Cresta and Quinones. Cycled cars. The leader is still the 40.
as there's-
Whoa, they're gonna split
As
him.
there,
Oh, DeLusso!
Lusso is not in a good spot there.
Wow.
To jump on the brakes.
And he still hasn't pitted, and that's going to cause him even more time. He is going to be furious.
Oh, he is pitting.
He is going to be furious with the 41 for that door slam of a defense from Andrew Weisbecker. In the next 2 laps, we should see everybody else be pitting down
So
here.
Weisbecker got around McAdoo.
Man, Nick Fountain had a problem getting off pit road. He slowed down pretty heavily. Saw him wiggling the car, may have gotten loose.
Jonas has yet to come down pit road.
Yeah, Quinones and Rob both holding out. Looks like Rob may be coming down this next time by. But maybe trying just to do something different. Anything they possibly can do. Because and he's going to give it up here. Here comes Quinones. And here comes Trenton. Trenton looks like he's out of fuel already. And he's got damage to the right rear. He got hit by somebody. Heavy damage to the right rear of the 78 car.
Yeah, he got hit by someone hard.
And that's going to give this all back to the reins of Andrew Weisbecker, who has got about a 2-second lead over Zach McAdoo. .22 to go, and the lead has been officially surrendered. And here is how your field will shake up now. It is Weisbecker, McAdoo, Deacon Jones, Austin Yoakum, and Nick Fountain for your top 5. Then it's Brendan Cresta, Aaron Douglas, Brett Pritchard, David Walsh, and waiting to see where Quinones comes out.
I think he's going to hold on to 9th.
I think he will. That was a successful overcut.
As the 44 and the 97 are side by side.
What, these two around each other?
Well, they were. Yeah, these two. Pritchard actually just ran his fastest lap of the race.
Ryan DeLuce is on pit road. He might have been our culprit for running into the 78 car.
Oh, I think you may be right. I'm not seeing...
Oh.
I don't see much on the front end, but let's see what the call is.
I don't see any reports either.
Judging by the way this pit stop is going at the moment. Oh yeah, it's repairs. Repairs to the number 2 car. That is going to be devastating. They stuck it down there and did 4 tires and fuel and pulled out that right front fender. That is going to be the end of the chance of Ryan DeLusso winning this thing. Unfortunate for one of the most dominant cars of the night. He will be heartbroken at a track that he loves.
If you can't find DeLusso by the morning, he is in the casino. Broke.
Up at the front.
Weisbecker doesn't have as much speed as we've seen out of
he is
some of these
currently
cars.
about half a second slower that lap compared to Zach McAdoo.
We're seeing
However,
both
he
TBD.
Is, I was going to say he's being bullied by Top Brad Development right now. Good TV time there for the Sour Strips 46 and the Penske Truck Rental 7.
I mean, they have literally boxed him out. And
this is unusual. I mean, McAdoo is a Ford. Is that what we're seeing going on here? Look at the time drop.
Mm-hmm.
Manufacturer games, late race. 3 Fords boxing into Toyota while they are barreling towards him. And he is finally able to break free. Well, we might see a little bit of under the table check slid to TBD coming from the Reckless Racing camp, if I have ever seen one being warranted. They certainly tried to help Zach McAdoo there.
I mean,
they're still giving him the business.
Yeah.
Brad is refusing to let the 41 go away.
Brad's showing he has speed to run up front. They just need to hit the qualifying setups by the looks of it.
Down to 1.2 seconds. I think the 41's finally going to be clear here. And McAdoo has gotten around the others. And he's bringing Deacon Jones with him. Down to 1 second. He's got 2 cars ahead of him now.
But they're 2 Fords.
2 Fords.
So let's see what happens.
We'll see. We're going to have 15 laps to bring this down. First time it's been under a second since the pit cycle. And Brad's going to let him go. Brad lets him go. And the business being given still by a fellow Ford. Noon Racing.
Dawson.
Wow. Drama.
Manufactured drama. As we have to see Weisbecker battle again. And these aren't cars going 1 lap down. These are cars going 2 laps down.
Keep an eye on that. You can see it on either side of your screen. Now 6/10 is what separates between McAdoo. And look at that. Oh, you actually, if you've been held up by the 8, someone get on the radio. Let them know, hey, that's not the car you're supposed to be holding up. McAdoo's got to put some work in. He needs to get around this 8 car if he wants to chase down Weisbecker. And he's going to clear
about
him.
Holding up. Get the draft off of
13 laps, 1 second, 1.25 seconds separates first through third. The battle at Las Vegas. It's slightly different cars, but it's going to be the same song and dance. Heck, it's even got 2 of the same teams still involved. It's Supreme and Revolutions for Motorsport with the addition of Reckless Racing. And how about that? Noon Racing making sure Deacon Jones gets a little separation on the 17 car.
You know, a little bit too late, but unfortunately they're 5 seconds back, but there's a couple cars back there with some speed. They're still running about half a second faster. Actually, there's 1 car in the top 10 still running in the 30s.
All right, well, let's see what they can do. Well, coming down to 11 to go. Weisbecker a little bit faster that time. Regain some time. And Deacon Jones now has the draft on the 17 car. Ten to go. Weisbecker beginning to pull.
They're about 4 or 5 seconds away from hitting lap traffic, so...
Oh, that could be big. That could be big.
Approach lap traffic.
It's a large group of them, too, so we'll see what that ends up doing to them. Lap time history between the two. You can see the differences between the 2 times. They keep trading back and forth. See, McAdoo lost 3/10 a couple laps ago, but it's been so close ever since. This will update every lap, coming to 8 to go this time by. I think they are going to catch this lap traffic, maybe right by the last couple laps. Updates again. Advantage Weisbecker that time by. McAdoo starting to struggle. Yellow's out. Dakota Cottle has crashed. Huge crash. Car stopped. Everything has changed. It's going to be a shootout in Vegas. What has happened? This is the aftermath. Was this another 3-wide incident going into the turn? No, it was side by side with a fellow Toyota. And he makes contact.
Toyota and Chevy.
And that's going to be the very similar fate to how the 30 car. Well, everything you knew is out the window.
That it is.
I couldn't call this even if I could.
No. No, there's no calling this. This is literally a gamble.
This will be a shootout to end all shootouts in Vegas, under the lights, night racing here in the desert. It's been a spectacular race. We've seen 5, 6, 7 car battles for the lead, manufacturer games. We've seen dominant cars trading positions back and forth. Everything you could
We've
ask
seen
for.
One of the most dominant cars not even being in the picture anymore.
One car has opted to come down pit road. That is Dylan Young out of Western Auto Racing, hoping for green-white checkers to then switch him around to him if these cars need to pit for fuel. I don't think that's going to be an issue just because of the amount of laps they've put underneath the since the caution. Since the green flag cycle. Oh, man. Hey, team owner of Revolutions Per Motorsport, you've been awfully quiet. How you feeling about Deacon Jones sitting in third for this restart?
I'm really hopeful. Simply put, really hopeful.
This is... What a race this has been.
I mean, you can't be too upset.
Oh, well, yeah, I can't be too upset. Lost the 2 car.
Well, I'm talking about this other team owner in here. The 97 sitting there in 8th.
And he's a short run car.
Got a good amount of late players that could, quote unquote, upset here.
And with how the restart, especially the last one was before, this is going to be insane. Cottle is back out on track. Front clip back on. Gotta love these 5-star bodies. Shout out to them. Front clip's a lot easier to replace on these things. Now, where Andrew Weisbecker currently sits 9th in points, this could be huge for him. And the number 17... Where is he in points? Zach McAdoo, where are you?
I don't have the points pulled up, so I can't tell you.
25th in points. Huge for all of these drivers. Deacon Jones sits 4th. Nick Fountain 7th. Connor has a 25-point lead on this thing, but we haven't even talked about it for much of the race.
He is back in 22nd, right behind Caitlin.
In a quiet race for the MGR cars. But here we are at the end of the race. We're going to restart on lap 141 out of 145. We're going to have a shootout for the end of the race. Or will it end in more disaster? It's going to be up to Andrew Weisbecker and Zach McAdoo to take the reins of the field here in Las Vegas for what could be the final time. Green flag is in the air. We are racing once again in the desert. Good restart for Weisbeck on the outside. Deegan puts McAdoo in the wall. He goes into second. They're 4 wide behind.
4 wide. No one's backing down.
This is it. This is for the race win. Everybody on the attack. Daniel Quinones going into 3rd. Crasta's in 4th. Pritchard shoots to the inside. Deacon Jones now trying to go for the race lead. 3 to go. He's getting to the back bumper of Andrew Weisbecker. Once again, it's Supreme versus Revolutions Per Motorsport. Here comes Brendan Crasta trying to pull the upset.
Nick Fountain got on the inside as well. He's trying to make a late race charge back up front.
And also, both of the drivers for Walsh Enterprise have entered into the top 10. It could be anybody's game. 2 laps to go. Crasta makes the move to the inside of the 28. We've seen the Cinderella story for him before. Can he do it again?
They are 3 wide for 5th, 4th, whatever place that was.
Everywhere, battling, beating and banging the 44 and the 39. Can Krasta make the move though on Andrew Weisbecker, or can Deacon take it back?
There.
Going into 3 and 4, coming to the front stretch, the white flag will be displayed. Andrew Weisbecker at the point for Supreme Motorsports. They haven't been to victory lane in years, or will it go to the Chevrolets behind? It's a half a second difference, but we've seen moves like this be dived on before in the past. Krasta needs to have the run of his lifetime down this back straightaway.
He's not going to get it.
I don't think he is either. Out of 3 and 4 for the final time, Supreme Motorsports gets redemption. No manufacturer support, no sponsor, no stopping them. Andrew Weisbecker wins in Las Vegas. Krasta gets P2, and then it's Deacon Jones, Nick Fountain, Brett Pritchard rounds out your top 5. David Walsh, Daniel Quinones, Austin Yoakum, McAdoo, and Aaron Douglas is your top 10. What an absolute finish and race at Las Vegas. That's
that was
probably
one of our most exciting finishes we've had this season. The gambles, the racing. I mean, we saw Fountain and Pritchard were door to door hitting each other for a whole lap there.
I'm going to argue that's been the best race we've had in the last couple of years. That was incredible. Yeah. What a finish. What a race.
Thank you to Dakota for making that interesting.
I cannot believe it. Man, what a story. The double top 5 for Supreme Motorsports. That team has been at the absolute lowest of lows. They were one of the powerhouses of the sport, not just less than 5 years ago.
Losing Target, they really, found themselves in this hole they didn't want to be in. And I think they're proving to, sponsors, like, we are someone still. As DeLusso just got across the
I cannot believe it as well for Brandon Krasta. That charge, we saw he was one of the best cars on the long run. And here he is at the end of the restart. He was just absolutely saving his stuff all race long. What a near finish for Brandon Krasta. That was incredible for him as well.
Even coming home 4th for Nick Fountain. Yes, he had a dominant car, but he can't be upset. Again, Supreme, 2 out of the top 4.
That was one of the best races I think I've seen in a while. And McAdoo and all the cars that we thought we were going to be up here ended up not even being their top 3.
No. Out of our picks, who was the best finishing? Chris Davis was the best finishing out of our picks in 13th. And then Dylan Touchton in 23rd and Sammy Cobb in 26th. Those were our picks.
Jumping down to the rest to show you guys also from P20 to 30. Outside the top 20 is Arthur Xavier, Connor Muir, Dylan Touchton, Andy Vealey, Noah Patwary, Sammy Cobb, Kenny Mambura, Jeff Cannon, Rob McPherson, John Cittadino. And then outside top 30 is Jacob McMillan, Joseph Ernesto, Dylan Young, Greg Graziano, Marissa Miranda, Ryan DeLusso. I feel so bad for Ryan after having to come back down and make that pit stop with the contact in the 5. Brad Smith. Hats off to Brad Smith. They did not give up after being that caution earlier in the race. 37th should be huge for them. Brad Hughes for Tom Brad Development finishes 38th. Travis Dawson finishes 39th with Elias Nassar in 40th. Rob Kreider out of Central Valley, California. He finishes 41st. Tom Jones 42nd. And last place was the number 5, who was the caution at the end, 3 laps down. That is Dakota Cottle, which is crazy to think out of all this. Only 1 round of wave rounds, 33 cars on the lead lap. What a competitive race. Nah, no DNF
either.
And one of the reasons why, and the hammer down for probably why we saw racing for this tonight, sponsor contract race. How important was this race for all of these guys?
It's going to be very important. I mean, a lot of sponsors are going to, either leave or re-sign. So
I think that might have been the fastest 2-hour broadcast of our entire career. That felt a lot shorter than that. What a race. What a race. What more can you say? What a race. That was awesome. So next week, Odor of the third place finisher, what's up? Are you are you alive? Or are you celebrating still?
Oh, we are celebrating.
And
how was that from the pit box?
Very pit boxy.
Very pit.
There's a lot of grass, you know, the front stretch. There's not really any logos in the grass. It's just a lot of grass, really.
That was great.
Big thank you for everybody on the East Coast for watching.
Yeah, if you're still awake and watching us on the East Coast and still on our stream, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Next week, we're heading out to Nashville Super Speedway. That is going to be a very fun one. Another track that's always put on a good show for us every time we've gone out there. Not like we needed it after that one, but man, wasn't that something?
Sure was.
And after everything tonight, it all got led down towards Andrew Weisbecker, who took the win from this thing. And you can see it here for your final time. How about that? With the 63 so close. Another couple laps. Maybe that's all he needed. Maybe that's all he needed. Alright, so with that, we'll see you guys next week for Nashville Tootsie's Racing Under the Lights. Nashville short track and the big track for all 3 series.
That was something. Yeah, let's see who's the one who put it 4 wide there. Yeah.